What's up? I just wanted to take a quick moment to let you guys know about Mr. Beast's 20 million tree challenge. Basically, Mr. Beast reached out to a bunch of YouTubers asking people to participate in his charity where he's trying to plant 20 million trees by January 1st of 2020. I've already donated, and if you guys could please go to the top link down in the description and donate. Every single dollar is going to raise one tree, so that would be absolutely awesome. Anyways though, let's move on to the video. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming at you with the spicy content that you need in your life. Today, we're going to be breaking down the top 10 GameCube games of all time. Now, the GameCube pretty much stopped making games in around 2005, so some may say this isn't a very relevant topic, but to you, I actually will say back, yes, it is. The Nintendo GameCube was one of the greatest consoles to ever grace the gaming landscape, and I wanted to make a video on it today and look at the 10 best games of all time. Now, before we do get into it, I need you guys to subscribe to the channel, okay? People get weird when they see a video that's not Fortnite, and if you want to see more of this content, I need you to subscribe and like right now. Now, with that said, thank you very much, and let's get into it. So the one and only criteria that I do have to mention for this video is just that we will not be using any games that were multi-platform. There's games like Simpsons Hit and Run, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars, and even one of my personal favorites, 007 Nightfire, that really just, it's not a fair competition. So coming in at our number 10 spot, we're gonna start things off with a tie for Pikmin 1 and 2. So first released when I was 6 years old in 2001, Pikmin was I'd say pretty revolutionary game. For those of you that never played it, basically you're this commander named Olimar, and you basically have control over these Pikmin, and you tell them to go do things and gather stuff for you. It was a very unique and original game, and both Pikmin 1 and 2 were pretty great. While the second one expanded from the original, some people stick to the original, so I just thought I'd figure at a tie, because both are great games. Now moving on to number 9, we have Tales of Symphonia. So probably one of the lesser known GameCube games, this was an absolute classic. So as far as GameCube RPGs go, this was one of the best. There really weren't a ton of RPGs on the GameCube to begin with, so it may have made this game stand out a little bit more, but it was still a good game. It was a game that basically combined the skills and abilities sort of leveling up of an RPG with real action encounters. So your battles would be live action. You're actually fighting people and doing all sorts of spells and sword attacks and all kinds of stuff as you play throughout the game. I don't know if a lot of people make this comparison, but to me anyways, it kind of felt like Final Fantasy, at least a little bit. To me, it was like a Nintendo version of Final Fantasy. Now, moving on to our number 8 spot, we've got Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Now, personally, I'm not a huge fan of this game, but I know that a lot of people are, so I wanted to include it. 3D Samus games, just a little bit weird to me. That's really it. But at the end of the day, I still gotta respect the pick, so number 8. Now, moving on to number 7, we've got Animal Crossing. If I had to describe Animal Crossing, I would say it's a video game for people that don't like video games. It is one of the most simple, basic, and casual video games really ever. You can't lose, you can't really win, you can't die. It's just a game, you go walk around, collect stuff, upgrade your house. It's very simple. It's chill and it's casual, and for the time, it was actually a really fun game. I never owned this one, but I've got a lot of fond memories of playing this game at my friend's house and watching them play it. And while it was a super basic game, it was great for the time. Now moving on to number 6, we're getting up to the big boys here. We've got Luigi's Mansion. So if I had to describe Luigi's Mansion, I would say it's a game kind of like The Legend of Zelda, but in the world of Mario. The concept of the game is that Mario gets lost in a haunted mansion and Luigi has to go in and save him. You run around the map solving puzzles, battling ghosts, and it really is a combination again of that sort of puzzle solving, but also with action. Which again, I don't know if that's a weird comparison to make, that it's like The Legend of Zelda, but again, in the terms of a Mario game. You've got boss fights and you've got puzzles. Overall, Luigi's Mansion is a really standout game of the GameCube. I think a big portion of that is because it was really the first successful Luigi exclusive. Actually, the second ever Luigi starred game, but the first was not much of a hit. Yeah, Mario is missing from 1992. But that being said, Luigi's Mansion is an absolute classic, and it comes in at number 6. Moving on to our number 5 spot, we've got Mario Kart Double Dash. So if there is a game for the GameCube that you can sit down with friends and everybody will enjoy, It's this one. I think I would say it is the ultimate casual multiplayer game for the GameCube. Overall, it's just a massive improvement from the Nintendo 64, man. And really, in a nutshell, it didn't do anything overly innovative or great from the N64 version. It just really solidified what that game had. Better graphics, better maps, and the biggest thing of all was that you actually got to select 2 characters, which honestly makes it still to this day one of my favorite games for that feature alone. There's so many Mario Kart games where you can only use one player, and the duality of Double Dash really was awesome. You can have these crazy combinations for insane specials that have defense and offense or speed, and it was just an incredible game. Really, the only thing I would say that sucks about this game is the replayability. Like, it's great to do a few multiplayer games with friends, battle mode, whatever, but it's really not a game that you're gonna be able to play for 20 hours straight, because I have, and I wouldn't recommend it. Overall though, Double Dash is an absolute classic. Now moving on to our number 4 spot, we've got Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door. I'm just gonna say it, Paper Mario is the best RPG for the GameCube. So Paper Mario is a very distinct take on any other Mario game. It's a game where you run around solving puzzles and getting into battle encounters. But the uniqueness of the battle system is just so incredible. So it's a very simple turn-based RPG game where you attack the enemy and then they attack you, but there is more to it than just that. You have battle commands where if you hold a button and tap it at the exact perfect time, you will do more damage and also take less damage when defending. So it does a really good job of keeping you engaged. The puzzles are great. There's a huge combat system with all sorts of badges and stuff. It is just a phenomenal game. I actually played this a few years ago, and it's one of the games for GameCube that stand up to today. Both the Nintendo 64 and GameCube games are just absolutely incredible. And it's one of those games that I'm really sad hasn't been produced again. Now moving on to number 3, we're getting into some heavy territory here. We've got Melee. Super Smash Bros. Melee, absolute classic. Full on the best multiplayer game for the GameCube, and I would say the second best Smash Bros. Ever. Fight me. So unlike Double Dash as a multiplayer game, Melee has got to be one of the most replayable video games of all time. Really just Smash in general, but Melee was huge for the time. You've got classic and adventure single player mode, you've got versus mode, you've got stadium, you've got event modes. There's just so much to this game, and when you unlock everything, you get an even bigger and more challenging single player mode. It takes a ton of time to unlock characters and all the stages, and it is just a deep game. On top of that, the upper ceiling for a learning curve in this game just like literally doesn't exist. You can play Melee for 10 years, as I pretty much have been doing, and just constantly be improving. So unlike Mario Kart, which is more of a really fun casual game that you can bottom out pretty quickly, Melee just never gets old. Now, moving on to our number 2 spot, I'm really sad that I don't have a copy here, but it is Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. So I would say probably one of the more controversial Legend of Zelda games. This is an absolute classic, no matter which way you want to spin it. So when you're gonna talk best GameCube game of all time, you're most likely looking at a single player game. Really, there's only one option for the number 1 spots, and I think there's only one other option that's even in the conversation, and that is Wind Waker. Now really, Wind Waker follows the same structure as pretty much every Legend of Zelda game ever. It's an open world exploring game. You go through dungeons, solve puzzles, battle bosses. It's a classic. One of the things that really stands out to me about this game is it's just got a very unique art style that's different from all the other ones. It also takes place around a bunch of islands and you take a boat to each place. It's really cool. And while I wouldn't say that Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker is the best Legend of Zelda game of all time, it's still a classic and comes in at number 2. Now, before we get down to our number 1 spot, I gotta put in some personal honorable mentions. These are games that I really liked that I don't think were quite deserving of the top 10. So first of all, we've got pretty much every Mario Party ever. Mario Party kind of sucks, but I love it. Mario Party is like the most annoying and awful game to ever be created in the existence of ever, yet I still somehow love it. We've got Pokemon Colosseum and XD, 2 just really fun takes on the Pokemon series. Super Monkey Ball, WarioWare, a couple other classics. Kirby Air Ride, one of those games that are very bad yet still manage to be fun. And last but not least, one of my favorite GameCube games of all time, SpongeBob SquarePants: Battle for Bikini Bottom. There are so few video games based around a TV show or movie that end up good, and this is one of them. And actually, the remake of this game was released just on October 25th which I'm probably gonna play because again, it is one of the most fun single player games I've ever played as a kid. Doesn't stand up like some of the other games, but it is still a really good time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our number 1 spot, we've got the game you've all been waiting for. I think you all know what this is gonna be. It's a pretty obvious choice. It is Shrek's Super Slam. So one of the greatest games of all time combines the most advanced and insane fighting with the incredible storyline of Shrek. Ha, that's a joke. No, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at our number 1 spot, we've got the GOAT, Super Mario Sunshine. So listen, Super Mario Sunshine is probably not even in the top 5 of all Mario games, but it's the best GameCube game to ever exist. And it's really sad because I went through a ton of different top 10 GameCube game lists and they all ranked this guy at like 8 or 7. It is a travesty to put this guy anywheres lower than number 2. I mean, this game's basically just a revamp of one of the greats, Super Mario 64, but with a very cool twist of you have this water jetpack. The Delfino Island is a great, happy, sunny city, dude. It is just a phenomenal game. As far as the big 3D Mario games go, I think most people put 64, Galaxy, and Odyssey above it, but that's okay because those are great games too. I'm just saying, this is the best for GameCube. Honestly, it's my personal favorite Mario game of all time. I know it's a lot of other YouTubers, so shout out to the boys that are watching this video. And yeah, dude, Super Mario Sunshine, an absolute classic. If you don't think it's at least number 2, you probably, I just, honestly, I don't even want to talk to you. And all seriousness though, guys, we're gonna wrap the video up right there. Thank you so much for making it all the way through on this one. Switched it up, went for something I really have been wanting to do for a while now, and there it is. If you guys want to see any more content that is not Fortnite, just please subscribe, leave a like, and just make sure to watch these videos all the way through to the end, because I really can't do it without your support. Not that I want to leave Fortnite, but sometimes you want to switch it up and make fun videos that aren't Fortnite. Anyways, with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. If there's any other videos you'd like to see me do, let me know, and peace. Alright, what's up, Roman? I don't know if I asked you if you've played GameCube. I hope you did. Otherwise, I feel terrible for your childhood. I've even got a few games here. I sold my GameCube originally, and then I missed it so much like 4 or 5 years ago. I was like, oh, I gotta get my GameCube back. So I bought one on eBay.